When the earth seemed so forsaken, from the heavenly heights he came, so that we could be awakened and wake others in his name. All is changing, all is reforming. Day is night and earth is sun, and the silent soul is transforming. A new epoch has begun. No more kings and no more emperors, no more masters and no more slaves. Let the soldier turn contemplator, let the shepherd be a sage. All is changing, all is ascending. Only seek and you shall find, for the fire of love and dying is a glow in humankind.
I must retire to my tent. All at once my life seems but a vain dream. Perhaps in sleep I will awaken to the rightful powers that guide me.
Now come along, Sivia. I'm so grateful to have pried you out of your suburban villa that I'm going to make sure that you enjoy yourself tonight.
Thank you for inviting me, Ignavia. But I asked Petrus if that she...
And as everyone knows, spectatum veniunt spectantur. Some come to see and some come to be seen.
I really intend to stay just for a little while.
Nonsense, Sivia, darling. Everybody who is anybody is here. And once you've met a few of our guests, you'd never want to leave. Here, for instance, a few of my dearest friends. Sivia, meet the three most loving sisters in Rome. Ebria, Versace, Maxima. Nisia, Armani, and Maxima. And Trivia, Botoxia, Maxima.
Well, I'm certainly glad there are only three of you. I'm beginning to max out.
Ignavia, darling, your new sedan chair is simply splendid. How much did it cost?
Don't tell us so, my sweet, but the distinguished Senator Moliero Gallius recently ransomed a whole group of Germanic tribesmen who were about to become gladiators and made the sedan chairs a surprise for me.
No one makes sedan chairs as well as the Germans.
And no one makes them as expensive either. I'm not supposed to know, darling, but rumor has it that dear Molly spent 100,000 sesterces on it.
No! But I'll wager that he was a slave guzzler.
It only gets about 2 miles a slave, so I have to stop at the water pump too often for my liking. But darling Molly said that it is warranted to last for 20 years, or the wearing of 20 of the slaves who carry it. Whichever comes first, but enough about me. You three look positively ravishing tonight. Ebria, where did those jewels come from?
This beautiful silk scarf was a gift from General Flavian and cost me 75,000 sesterces. This beautiful woven bracelet, a souvenir of Lamia's Saturnalia banquet, of course, was recently appraised at 30,000 sesterces. And I paid for this lovely dress myself. was only 10,000 sesterces, so don't you dare tell anyone that I got it at such a discount.
Iria, aren't you ashamed to be such a bargain hunter? My gown is of far better quality. 'Tis woven of silks that have been brought back from Asia Minor during Rome's battle with King Mithridates. And because of its antiquity, it is valued at 75,000 sesterces.
Speaking of antiquities, dearest Nisia, your gray roots are starting to show through.
Well, Trivia, darling, you needn't worry about your gray roots. Indeed, you needn't worry about any roots.
Keep your hands off of my wig. It comes straight from the head of an Egyptian princess, and it cost me 12,000 sesterces. And speaking of your scarf of precious silk, well, let's see about that. Look at that, Ignavia. It's nothing but cotton.
Cotton, how dare you! I wouldn't settle for anything less than silk, unlike you two miserly...
Miserly! I had already spent all of our father's fortune and most of my first 3 husbands' wealth before you two even learned how to bargain. Emporo ergo sum. I shop, therefore I am.
Well, then why do you wear such trash? Isn't it beautiful? Would gold bend like that? Isn't that how brass bends?
You venomous vixen!
You hollow hag!
You pocket-painted packeter!
Darling, aren't they fun? I told you that once we met a few of our guests who never want to leave.
Really, dear Fluvia, I feel I must be going.
Sibia, look, the banquet will soon be served. And here's Noxio, the Emperor's favorite, who will be tonight's master of ceremonies. Oh, I think he's about to read the menu. Listen.
For the Gustaccio, a selection of appetizers, fried grasshoppers, ostrich wings, locust and honey, flamingo tongues, 12 varieties of songbirds served in their feathers, and baby pelican livers braised in their blood. For the prima mensa, we have a selection of seafoods, eel, squid, and octopus, garnishing a roast of the emperor's pet shark, the one to whom you know he would feed his disobedient slaves. And for dessert, a relay of 100 runners will deliver fresh snow from the Alps, which we will stir together with fruits grown in North Africa. Following that, the menu of the second dinner.
My stomach is positively growling in anticipation.
My stomach feels upset.
And now, your excellencies, you shall glimpse the God in man, who makes our simple repast possible. Bow before him, adulate, adore him. It is he, the divine, Emperor, Caesar, Imperator, Pontifex and Jupiter. Lords and ladies, here's Nero. Hail, oh hail, Emperor Nero! Silence, Nero speaks. 16! 5! It's good to be emperor.
What is so funny about those numbers?
You know Nero's reputation for outrageous humor, don't you, darling? Well, he has mastered the telling of 25 jokes, which never fail to elicit gales of laughter. And given his delicate condition, Nero grows tired of repeating the same jokes again and again, so he assigned them all as numbers. Now he need only speak of the numbers, and his audience, recollecting the original joke, can't help but laughing uproariously. Look at me, darling, my eyes are tearing.
I too am on the verge of tears, and I really don't.
Sibia, darling, I hope all this isn't gossip that turned you against the emperor.
But is it only silly gossip? Effluvia, would a god be like our Nero, inviting guests to his palace, stealing their possessions, and selling them back to their owners the very next day?
Even an emperor must be allowed his boyish pranks.
And haven't you heard that on some moonlit nights, Nero wraps himself in the skins of wild beasts, has prisoners tied to stakes, and gnaws on them until they bleed to death?
It's just his way of having a midnight snack.
And what of the house he is planning to build for himself? It will be 1 mile long, large enough to enclose a huge lake, which itself will be surrounded by miniature cities, meadows, and forests. Not to mention the precious jewels and rare woods that will be lavished throughout, of ceilings that rain down perfumes, and furniture of silver and gold.
Great spirits need grand houses, and oh, when I look into those deep brown eyes of his,
Glazed over with drink, and as empty as the head behind them.
or gaze upon a sudden smile lighting up his face,
Revealing teeth that rot from too many sweets, cheeks fat and splotchy from a life of ceaseless access.
or watch him gesture with those sensitive, artistic hands.
Hands prematurely palsied that tremble with never-ending
Please,
fear.
Eusebia, no more of this idle gossip. To put it simply, Nero is my hero. Please put off your melancholy cloak and join the endless party that is Roman life.
Perhaps, but not this evening. I have asked Petrus, my master stonemason, to accompany me home tonight, so that you are not inconvenienced.
Then there's no convincing you to stay, you silly, somber soul. But remember my words, darling. Tempus fugit. You only live once.
Summon the master stonemason Petrus. It has been several days since we spoke of the villa's construction. The work progresses well, Petrus.
The structure nears completion. Indeed, were it not that the stone carvers must be given a holiday to witness the triumph.
Triumph? Whose triumph? I'm quite out of touch with the city's affairs.
General Solidus and his co-commander Marius Tullius have returned from Judea, and the emperor is welcoming them tomorrow with fitting pomp and ceremony.
Marius Tullius.
My lady, what ails you?
Oh, Petrus, only because I have come to respect you so, I will confide in you now. 3 years ago, before he set off for his tour of duty, I encountered Marius at the feast of the Lupercal. He approached me, kneeled before me, and in the most earnest and touching way, told me of his love for me.
Oh, I remember.
What?
I remember saying such things myself to maidens when I was younger.
But 3 years ago, I was still a child, vain and flighty, laughing at love. I was cruel to him.
So cruel.
What?
Madame, you were so cruel to yourself to see it that way. The scamp probably didn't even deserve your love.
I thought that at the time too, but now I've grown older and wiser. Alas, compared to the weaklings and fops who call themselves men in Rome, Mars is like a stallion among donkeys. He's like a diamond among glass baubles. He's like a
giant among pygmies.
Yes, Petrus, a giant among pygmies. But how do you know?
Why, all of Rome speaks of his greatness as a commander, of his boldness and generosity to his men, and of his grandeur and gallantry.
Now my heart is breaking to think that I spurned him when he stood just where you stand now. And he said,
As long as stars shine in heaven, Marius' heart will beat for Sibia.
why, that's exactly what he said.
Yes, it is. It is a very common vow that young men make at the Lupercal, my lady. Only the names get changed.
And I thought it to be his own creation. Petrus, you are a man and the best of your kind. Tell me, as a man, if you were Marius and had been spurned by Sibia, would you have forgotten her?
Forgotten? Never. My longing would have only ripened into a love deeper and more true than before.
And if this time I were the one who declared my love for you, would you spurn me?
Only a fool would reject as magnificent and beautiful a lady as you. No, my lady, I would not spurn you.
That settles it. Now I'm determined to win back his love. The day after the triumph, I will make my way to the house of Marius Tullius and beg his forgiveness for my foolish behavior. Nay more, I won't desist till I am pledged to be his wife.
A bold strategy, but good general that he is. Marius is sure to be won over by it.
Oh, Petrus, I suddenly feel so strengthened by the force of such a single-minded resolve.
And I suddenly feel divided in two.
Appear before me in 2 days.
Yes, my lady.
And, Petrus, if you please, good Petrus, wear something a little less dusty.
Lucia. Lucia. We'll need all of your ingenuity to get out of this one.
2 days later, the Villa Tullia.
My lady Marius, my lord Lucia, here are tidings from your brother Petrus, your sister Marius.
Perdiccas, what happened to your leg?
I was in such a hurry to return with the message that I ran into Sibya's doorway, disturbing her guard dog Argus, who jumped upon me, wrapping the claws of his right front paw around my forearm while his incisors dug into the muscles.
I can imagine the rest. Let me have the letter. Beloved sister, by the time Perdiccas arrives with this letter, Sibya and I will be on our way to the Villa Tullia, where she will declare her love for Marius. Acting on my behalf, you will forgive her and quickly accept her proposal of marriage. Wishes for a planned success, your devoted brother, Marius. Perdiccas, is my armor polished and ready?
All is as you commanded.
Remain here. I will come back in a minute. Make ready to welcome Sibya and Petrus.
Petrus, help me so that I do not lose courage. Once in the presence of Marius Tullius, I fear I won't be able to keep from swooning.
You've done well so far.
My lady Sibya.
Marius Tullius, welcome home, hero of Rome.
Please sit. I'm unworthy of your praise. Indeed, you used to think me unworthy of being in your presence.
Oh, Marius, do not remind me of that haughty child who once was Sibya. I've come to beg your forgiveness for my thoughtless, hurtful words of 3 years ago.
Yes, they certainly were thoughtless. But then again, thinking was never one of your strong points.
I don't know why I ever spoke to you that way.
I would expect nothing less from a shrew.
My sister's going to ruin everything.
I'll never forgive myself for the harsh words I said to you then.
That's good, because I'll never forgive you for them either.
Lucia's going too far. Ahem. General Marius, I have worked as a stonemason and Sibya's employee for 3 years now, and I can attest to all the remorse that she feels for you. And furthermore, I can assure you
No one asked for your testimony, Pebble Smasher. Shut your mouth or I'll have my servants toss you in the Tiber. Please, let me hear more of your remorse and shame. Perdiccas, what is that racket? Go to the east entrance and see who is there.
What's the matter, Perdiccas? Cat got your tail? Where is your mistress, Lucia?
She is.
You're no help today. She hasn't replied to even one of my notes, so I decided to make this siege a personal one. You know what they say, Veni, Vidi, Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered.
Begging your pardon, sir, but I've also heard that ut amaris anabilis esto. If you want to be loved, be lovable.
True, but is it not?
True, but is it not quoted that Fortis Fortuna Idavat? Fortune favors the brave?
Indeed, Your Excellency, but I've also heard Eras Uxor Ducis. You used to be saying, are you really taking a wife?
Well, don't just stand this about our programs. Announce that I'm here.
And so I've come, good Marius, humbled and saddened, to ask if you have it in your heart to forgive me.
My Lady Scythia, surely such a serious matter needs due consideration on my part. I must retire to my chambers for a few moments to think over all that you have said. Pernicus, see to it that Lady Scythia and her friend are made comfortable while I deliberate in peace and quiet. My Lord Solidus.
Lucia, at last. It has been years, yet I feel as if I knew you well. Those eyes, that nose, that mouth, so like your brother's.
I have received your note, Solidus.
Are you ready to surrender?
I must hear the terms first.
Haha, that determined spirit. If you give yourself up to me, I will carry off in triumph to my walled domain and grant you years of peace and happiness.
As your captive slave?
How quick she is. She is just a mere Marius.
If my virtue lies in being so much like my brother's, why don't you just marry him?
Oh no, Lucia. It is you and you alone that I must have for a wife.
My Lord Solidus, surely such a serious matter needs due consideration on my part. I must retire to my chambers for a few moments to think over all that you have said. Pernicus! Pernicus! See to it that General Solidus is made comfortable while I deliberate in peace and quiet. Wait. My Lady Scythia, I have thought over all that you have said, and yes, Scythia, I forgive you from the bottom of my heart.
Now I see that it is spoken truly of you, Marius, that you are as kind as you are brave. Oh, Petrus, I'm losing my resolve.
Be bold, good Sibia.
Compared to the weaklings and false who call themselves men in Rome, Marius, you were like a stallion among glass bubbles. I mean, no, you were like a diamond among donkeys. No. You were like a pygmy among giants. No, I don't know what I'm saying. For all I want to say is, will you ask me to marry you?
My Lady Scythia, surely such a serious matter needs due consideration on my part. I must retire to my chambers for a few moments to think over all that you have said, especially considering the pygmy. I will return in a moment after deliberating in peace and quiet. My Lord Solidus,
Are you ready to capitulate, or must I actually shoot more of Cupid's arrows at your heart?
you must know right from the start that I'm not the sort of lady who is content around the home and hearth. I confess I like to tame horses and ride them at breakneck speed on the countryside.
You don't say.
And you'll have to leave me play to keep my skills at swordplay sharp.
Well, I hadn't thought of that.
And now and then you'll have to take me traveling to Gaul or Galilee.
My years of warfare begin to seem tame compared to what our years of marriage will be.
Love is war.
And war is, heaven.
And in war they say Vea Victis.
Just what our brother would say. Yet again, I ask with more fervor than before. Will you marry me?
Yes, Solidus. Oh, yes, yes, I will marry you.
In token of your promise, I give you this ring from Judea. That scar. It is exactly like the one Marius got when he saved my life. Is it so with twins that if one is wounded, they both develop scars? Or
It's quite...
those eyes, that nose, that mouth. Lucia, are you your brother?
It's quite a long story, sir.
My boy, my girl, I've got you in your arm, lest I think that I'm going mad.
Your word, sir, is my command.
You really are unique among Roman officers.
is too great. If Marius will not return to me, I must seek him out and throw myself at his feet.
Oh no, Sibia, stay here!
Marius? And Solidus? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think I'm going to faint.
As long as stars shine in heaven, Marius' heart will beat for Sibia.
Is Marius Lucia? Or is Lucia Marius?
That depends on what your definition of is.
I feel like I'm in a hall of mirrors, and I can't tell what's real from its image.
My love for you is real, O Sibia. All else is but a passing shadow.
All of the chaos and confusion that I experienced at the front lines of the battlefield seem crystal clear when compared to this. Can someone explain what is happening?
First, let us make our way to the forum to make known to all our dual marriage vows. Then shall we all four sup together, and I will unravel the tangled threads of our interwoven lives.